starts his gatherings into the zone. Score! Heckle wins it, and the Sun Devils make it 18.
Welcome into this week's edition of Hell Frozen Over alongside Nick Marek. I'm Kerry, Crowley, and we're back to talk more Arizona State Sun Devil hockey. Nick, last weekend the Sun Devils traveled to North Dakota. On Thursday night, they beat Williston State in a shootout, and then they lost their 2 games over the weekend against Minot State. On Friday night, they took Minot to a shootout, even with a depleted roster, and on Saturday night, they lost 4-2.
Well, it was a big weekend for the Sun Devils. Obviously, not much in terms of rankings, so we already know that Minot State's going to be the number 3 team, and Arizona State will be the number 2 team heading into the national tournament. However, the shocker was actually in Williston State. That was a team we kind of looked over last year, didn't focus on too much, but that was one where Williston went neck and neck. It ended up going in a shootout, and Dan Anderson eventually got the game-winning goal in the shootout, so it was interesting to see a senior step up in as many days. We saw Charwa get the game winner in overtime against U of A at home here a couple weeks ago, and then Anderson got the job done. But now we'll just switch gears and focus on Minot. It was really just a complete show for the Sun Devils. Obviously, they are missing some key players, and that was a big reason why they struggled out on the road. Wazelenchuk played 2 fantastic games, so you have to give him credit. When I talked to Coach Powers on Monday, the big thing that he wanted to highlight was the fact that it doesn't matter. His team's going to be ready for nationals, and he feels like he has the league right where he wants him because he was missing so many guys. There were 2 forwards out. Heckle, Chisholm didn't play. Delinsky only played 1 of the 3 games, and both defensemen, Charwa and Young, didn't play, and Joe Dealey was out for the full weekend. So we'll see if the roster comes back healthy this weekend in Tucson.
And one of the things that was most surprising to me was Minot State is the number 3 team in the country. They've got the best defense in the ACHA, and even with the depleted roster for Arizona State, they were still able to put up good numbers. They took 36 shots on Friday night, 37 shots on Saturday night against Wazelenchuk. So clearly the offense was in full gear. They scored 3 goals. They got to a shootout on Friday night. So clearly something was going right for this Sun Devil offense.
Well, how about the way they got back to the shootout? They're down 3-0, and then with a depleted roster coming back in the final period to at least force an overtime period. There's something that a little flashback, I guess, back here when you see maybe against teams like Lindenwood really early on in the season when it looked like, oh, the season's kind of over. What's going on here? And then they try to make the push to get back in it, and it was good enough to get the job done. But, I mean, really looking into this weekend now, they have U of A. Not sure if we're going to see the full Sun Devil lineup against the Wildcats just because of injury reasons. There's really no need to. Yes, the streak is alive. Sun Devil fans want to have the 32 games go on, as well as the boys behind us. But truth be told, that's not the end of the story. The story is going to come down to Chicago Nationals, and being healthy is what matters most.
And that brings me to my next question for you. Sun Devils going for 31-32, trying to make it 4 full years of dominance over U of A. Should Greg Powers play his starters, or should he rest them up given that they have nationals the following week?
Well, we've been saying kind of everything about this team and looking at them and saying, you know, there's nobody on the team who's ever lost to U of A because they're all, even the senior class is going to graduate barring a loss this weekend, which could happen if they decide not to go with the starting lineup, so to speak. But I think the smart play would be probably keep a couple guys back. I think they almost need to, just because here's the situation for U of A. They're going to come in. This is basically their national tournament. This is what they live and breathe for, is taking on against the Sun Devils. They've never beat them since 2009 in February. This is a chance they could headhunt if they want to. Not saying they will, but you never know. It's a chippy rivalry. If something could escalate, and then all of a sudden, if the Sun Devils are caught in the short end of a stick and say, I don't know, Fez Khan, Brian McGinty, Cale Delinsky, Dave Jancy, whoever gets a serious injury and has to miss a month, that puts them out for the season. Then they're scratching their heads saying, how are we going to shift up the lines? Then the trouble just continues.
So clearly the Sun Devils will want to stay away from that chippy play. They'll want to basically play their own game this weekend at U of A. Games are down in Tucson Friday and Saturday night. Any predictions for the weekend?
I don't know. It's going to be hard to say. If they send the starting lineup, should be 2 pretty good games. Because now everybody's going to come back. I think only Heckle and Jordan Young are going to be the 2 out this weekend. I'm going to expect that they're going to stick it back. So I'm going to say they'll keep the streak alive on Friday, but they may sit a bunch on Saturday. So Saturday's going to be the game to watch for. I think they'll do it. I want to be optimistic. But it'll be close on Saturday for sure.
Watching closely this weekend, Sun Devils go for 31-32 against the Wildcats. When we come back, we'll have head coach Greg Powers. You're watching Hell Frozen Over.
Tacos?
Nah. Burgers?
Yesterday.
Right. I'm thinking
Mongolian.
Looking for a fresh, healthy alternative? Take a trip to Genghis Grill. Spice up your favorite meats and seafood, then load up on veggies. Choose a sauce and let our Genghis Grill masters cook your selection to perfection. Genghis Grill, masters of Mongolian stir fry.
Hey, go vegetarian?
Chicken. Me too.
We're back here on Hell Frozen Over, and we're joined now by Sun Devil coach Greg Powers. And coach, big series coming up this weekend against U of A. You're going for wins number 31 and 32 in a row. Obviously, the roster's a little depleted right now, a couple injuries, and you kind of want to save your guys going to nationals. What's the mentality of this team right now?
Hey, you know, the mentality's good. The guys are excited to go to nationals. You know, let's not sugarcoat it. You know, that's the main focus right now. You know, we're going to go down to Tucson and for 24 hours or whatever, I guess for 3 hours on Friday, focus on U of A, and then for another 3 on Saturday, focus on U of A. But the guys are looking at nationals. It's natural. It's okay. It's what we've been planning for all year, and we're just focused on getting healthy for it. But again, we want to go down to Tucson and get 2 wins, so we're focused on that as well.
Well, now going down the nationals, coming up in the foreground, obviously then this U of A game, really the only thing on the line for you guys is the winning streak of 31 and 32, and for U of A, it's basically the national tournament. So any chance that a couple players are going to stick behind and maybe call up some D2 players?
There was I went through that, you know, and I actually moved up a few kids in case on Saturday we want to go that route. Right now, I'm not planning to. We have enough healthy bodies, I think, that we should be able to get through it. And Friday, with who we have healthy, we're playing to win, you know, and then we'll take Saturday as it comes. But really right now, you know, there's only a couple guys that I know will likely hold out. If Nationals started Friday, we would play everybody. But again, there's no reason to even take a chance of a guy, you know, going to a corner weird or whatever. But we're going down there to win. Make no mistake about it.
We're going to change gears a little bit now. Our theme to the show today is Get to Know a Sun Devil. So we'll start with you. Do you have a favorite road trip the team's been on this season?
I would say Penn State. You know, I mean, naturally, the result of that trip was monumental for our program, and it was just a cool trip. It was a really great atmosphere and game day atmosphere, and the campus was awesome. The area was awesome. The whole feel of the trip was a great experience for myself and all the players. So definitely Penn State.
We always make jokes, too, that when players come here, you don't want them the other coaches always say they don't want them touring the campus at Arizona State because they don't want a transfer coming out over here. They don't want to lose a guy. So I guess good thing for there, too, up in Nittany Lions territory. But the question for you is, obviously, you played goaltender for Arizona State. So what was your favorite moment in your collegiate career when you actually played?
Best moment for me was my freshman year when I was a part of the team and I was in net that was the first team that ever beat U of A. No ASU team had ever beaten U of A. I believe U of A's win streak was at 64 games against ASU, and it was 12 or 13 years or whatever. And I was in net for that game. So that's by far my greatest memory, and it was a lot of fun.
You played, you coach now. What do you prefer?
I don't know. I mean, you miss playing, but it's been so long since I played, you know, and the few times that I do get out there, I'm so damn bad at it that I probably prefer coaching a lot more than playing.
Well, I guess with the class you brought in, pretty good. But now looking maybe ahead to nationals, anything the team's going to do to kind of get together as well. Maybe like anything fun you're doing for the team to help them prepare and get in that easy mindset? You know, I mean,
we went away together on a brutal trip to North Dakota and spent 3 days together, and then obviously we're going down to Tucson together. You know, I mean, you know, and then we're here together all the time. So I mean, we're always together, and it's a real tight knit group. And you know, I don't think we need to pull any magical rabbits out of our hat to improve on chemistry. It's there, it's there, and it's good and it's healthy and. You know, we're very confident going into next Saturday against whoever it may be, Rutgers or Navy.
Thanks for joining us, Coach. Good luck this weekend. Good luck trying to keep that streak alive. And then, of course, Nationals the following week.
Thanks, guys.
You're watching Hell Frozen Over.
How do we rise to the challenges before us? Arizona State University.
Welcome back to Hell Frozen Over. We're joined now by Sun Devil senior Dan Anderson. And Dan, big weekend for you last weekend. You're the hero of the moment after the game-winning shootout goal against Williston State.
Yeah, you know, any donkey can put the puck on the net. You know, that's all I did. I just came down and put it on net.
Well, pretty humble there, too. Obviously, a big win for you guys, even though it is against Williston State. It doesn't really matter because obviously had a more depleted roster round this weekend in Tucson. You guys are really looking to go out with a bang. It's the senior class, your last regular season weekend, so has that kind of sunk in yet?
Kind of. I mean, it's a big weekend for both teams. Both teams are very good, so Friday night, you know, both teams are coming out ready to play.
And we've done a little thing with Coach Powers of get to know your Sun Devils, so same kind of type of questions for you. Being here for 4 years at Arizona State, what's been your most memorable moment on the ice, we'll start with?
You know, I would say it was yesterday's practice. I mean, it was a real character builder. The lights went off, you know, we had a very good skate yesterday, so I'd have to go with that one.
What's been your favorite thing off the ice in Arizona?
You know, probably visiting the Grand Canyon. I mean, it's a beautiful sight. I'm probably studying my books at school, you know. I gotta go to those top two right there.
What's your any favorite moment in class with these guys? Anything? Because obviously some of you guys take class together. I know off the ice. So what's been the weirdest moment for you?
You know, I've had class with guys in the team for probably 2 years. You know, I probably have to go back to freshman and sophomore year. We'd have, you know, probably 10 guys in a giant lecture hall sitting in the back. So kind of goofing off, messing around, not really paying attention. So probably that.
You got 15 career goals to your name, 8 of them against U of A. Why the success against the Wildcats?
You know, I really couldn't say. It's nothing special. Probably just, you know, my teammates find me in the right spot, and I just put the puck on net and it goes in. This is probably it.
You guys getting ready for your second win now in Nationals, too, because you're one of the few who's actually had a chance in the big light to get that W.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when we go to the national tourney, you know, it all starts with game one. I mean, none of the games matter at that point. You know, we got to start that first period on that first game on Saturday, and, you know, that's the big game to think about.
Last but not least, what are you looking forward to in your life after Arizona State?
Probably, you know, grad assistant next year. You know, I'll come back and coach, probably not get a job or go to school, you know, just hang out. Then after that, hopefully get hired as assistant coach. Maybe sleep out the back of the rink and just keep coaching and then work my way up to take Coach Powers' job over. So, you know, that's my career goal right now.
You seem like you have it planned out pretty well.
Yeah, you know, I haven't told him yet, but, you know, I'm sure he'll understand when it comes time. So.
Well, thanks for joining us. Good luck this weekend against U of A, and good luck in Nationals the following week.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thanks for joining Hell Frozen Over.
Hey, and welcome to the D2 Update. I'm your host, Kevin Hanlon. I'm joined by sophomore Justin Butler. Say hello to Candy.
Hello.
And freshman Coda Angbar.
How's it going?
So Coda comes from Colorado, Justin from Maryland, 2 All-Stars joining the team this year. Justin's been lighting it up this year. Coda's got a great start for his first year. Coda, how you feeling on the team? Do you feel comfortable? How do you like being a Sun Devil?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I know Andrew Hefter and Ian Hamilton from home, so it kind of was comfortable from the start, but definitely got a great group of guys.
Yeah, so would you say there's a family atmosphere going on this year, grooving into Nationals?
Definitely.
Oh, right on. Butler, you were on the team last year. How do you think it compares this year? Do you think we kept most of the core? Like, give me your thoughts on that.
I think we kept most of the core. We lost a few key players, but I think we regained some good freshmen like we did last year, so I think we're looking good.
How do you think the chemistry's working both on and off the ice?
I think it's working great in both. I think we've been just doing better and better as the year's gone on, and off the ice we keep getting more and more close, so it's been great.
That's perfect. All right, boys. We're gonna do a little bit of get to know a Sun Devil. So we're gonna ask some questions. You know, we'll throw it out. We'll see how this works. So, Coda, you're from Colorado.
Yep.
Who's your favorite NHL team?
Have to say the Avs.
The Avs?
Yeah.
And growing up, who's your favorite player?
Definitely Forsberg or Sakic.
Forsberg, Sakic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
some classic
Can't go wrong with
Avalanche
those guys.
players.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Justin, same question.
Capitals.
Capitals.
Yes.
A native of DC.
Yes.
Who'd you look up to growing up watching hockey?
Bondra.
Peter Bondra. All right, right on. All right, Justin, in the summertime, how do you spend your evenings?
Usually pretty quiet with my friends, hanging out, you know, not doing too much.
All right, same question.
Have to say the same. Just relaxing with friends and maybe go out. I don't know.
Little fishing during the day?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah? All right, a little golf, perhaps. I know Butler's a big golfer.
Yeah,
all right.
a little golf maybe.
That was Get to Know a Sun Devil, and that was the D2 Update. I'm your host, Kevin Hanlon. We'll see you next time.
When you've lost that love and feeling, donate it to Good Wheels. Your unwanted vehicle will help fund job skills training and human services programs for disadvantaged Arizonans. You'll even receive a tax deduction. So call 602-416-6278 for more information. Or visit us online at www.goodwillaz.org. Good stuff, good work, Goodwill.
We're back here at the rink at Oceanside Arena. Nick, Sun Devils gearing up for their final matchups of the season against U of A. We've talked so much about it already. Who do you expect to step up this weekend?
Well, Nick's picks for the weekend is going to be the 3 Ds. That's Danny, Dan, and Dan. McAuliffe, Anderson, and Sterna, of course, because they've been known to be Wildcat killers in their Sun Devil careers. Obviously, 2 of them being seniors, and Anderson and Sterna. McAuliffe always seems to play well against the Wildcats. I expect those guys to step up. However, it's going to take a full team effort. There's really no sugarcoating it. When you have the injuries that you do, your leader's still going to most likely be out this weekend just for precautionary reasons to make sure he's 100% come Nationals rather than maybe 85%. Coach Powers said in previous weeks, he said when his leader was out, they look for the full team. Yeah, he'll pick out a couple of guys, but really there's no more shenanigans on the ice. It's time to buckle down and take care of business in Tucson, regardless of what roster comes out there, because you still know whoever the Sun Devils send out on the ice, it's going to be the same passion in Tucson.
And it's going to be a big weekend for goalie Joe Delia. Didn't play in the trip to North Dakota, but obviously he wants to get back on track before heading into Nationals. He's won a national championship before, and now he's trying to win it again, this time with the Sun Devils. So if he can continue to shut down the Wildcats like he's done this season, that'll give him huge confidence heading into the national tournament, especially because Corey Frank's playing well behind him. He had a nice series in North Dakota at Williston and Minot. He played really well in the shootouts. So the Sun Devils have 2 great goalies right now. Don't forget Kyle Dietrich has also seen time this season. So I think if the goalies step up for the Sun Devils, they should be able to take 31 and 32. But another thing to watch is after this weekend, the Sun Devils are going to the national tournament, and I know you talked to Coach Powers on Monday about his expectations.
Yeah, we got to fast forward a little bit to Nationals as well. Obviously, I don't want to look over U of A, but Coach Powers did say, you know, when this team comes, they've obviously had the back-to-back losses. They lost to Oklahoma 2 years ago. Last year, it was a sorry to Oakland, which ended in overtime, but really, he said it's just going to take 1 win. That's all it's going to need for this Sun Devil team. Then he said, look out, basically. Because once this team gets 1 under their belt, they're going to have the confidence that they can do it. They're going to have at least that 1-game momentum, which they've never had before in the past couple of years. And only 3 guys in the Sun Devil team have actually won in the national tournament. That was Parson, Anderson, and Phil Sansone. So if those guys can kind of spark and say, listen, we've been here before. It's the same group of guys. They've been there back-to-back years. That 1 win will be enough to propel them. And then if you're looking ahead, it'll be either Illinois or Delaware, and they both struggled last weekend too. And you mentioned in the ACHA, they said Illinois actually lost in their divisional tournament. So not many teams are kind of stepping up thus far. Minot State played impressive against Sun Devils, but it's kind of anybody's game, and if the Sun Devils can just propel, it'll be theirs.
So they've got Rutgers or Navy, the winner of that matchup in the opening round, and then after that, like you said, Illinois or Delaware. So the Sun Devils will have their hands full, but I think that they can get the job done because they're finally getting back to full health. We'll see Colin Heckle, Jordan Young back at full strength, and we haven't seen that all season long. What kind of difference does that make for this Sun Devil team?
Oh, I mean, it's huge. I mean, there's no other points doing it. Colin Heckle leading the team in points. I believe second in the team in goals, first in shorthanded goals. Jordan Young second among defensemen in points. It's crucial parts of your offense and defense. out of the mix. Obviously, Jordan Young, the reason why Coach Powers had to shift up all the lines, they played fantastic defensively. But when you lose Heck all of a sudden, there's your top line guy who is mixed with Sterna and Kana, thinking, who are we going to put in there? Let's try McGinty, which is great, but that's really not McGinty's fit. He works better with different players in the team. And now that Liam Norris comes back, which he's finally been gone for 2 months, you're able to put him back with McAuliffe and Delinsky, and then the lines start to fit in shape. So it's really just the full team chemistry that the Sun Devils have had, and the reason why they were 19-0. Now we're going to see it in full effect in Nationals. At least that's what we're hoping.
Well, that does it here for us at Hell Frozen Over. Alongside Nick Marek, I'm Kerry Crowley and our cameraman Ryan Hess. Thanks for tuning in.